So after I saw like how low we were ranked, honestly, like I stopped caring about people's opinions, even though like I don't really care. But honestly, that was like the cherry on top. It's just like when I saw that, it just made zero sense to me.
Hey guys, this is Pedro back with another interview covering VCT America Stage 2. For this occasion, I'm here accompanied once again by JonahP of G2 Esports. We're coming off of a 2-0 victory over Loud in the middle of Super Week. So, JonahP, really do appreciate it. Give me another chance to talk to you for another interview so far this season. And another W, another victory, but this time against a pretty familiar opponent, by your regard. And taking down NRG. What's the feeling like for you?
I mean, I feel great. My pre-match tweet was like, I said it's been since Iceland since the last time we played them, and I was like, we're gonna give them the Paper X treatment because last time we played Paper X in Shanghai, we beat them. So I think we were very confident going in, and we definitely expected to come out with the win.
I'm sure there was extra motivation for you and the rest of the other like old guard core Invalid and Trent, just sort of just having another chance to finally face them and just be an improved version of yourselves, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna see
Yeah.
that?
Oh wait, were you can if you had more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh no. I was going to say like if you're going to add something else besides your answer, I wasn't going to like say another
Oh
thing.
right. I mean, yeah, it's been like everyone on my team and their team are really good friends, so it's definitely like it adds on to just the match. Like you want to be your friends and stuff like that. It's like a ego thing. So we just everyone is very confident and motivated, and um, at the end of the day, like it does suck seeing them lose because everyone's pretty good friends, but competition at the end of the day, and we came here to do our job, and that's what we did.
Exactly as you said. Now taking a look over to NRG, just sort of, I want to know how the team was kind of approaching your opponent today. Given the fact that it's a new-ish roster rebuilt for the start of Stage 2, and given their previous showing against Sentinels, what was the preparation like? How were you guys just looking to approach NRG for this occasion?
Approach this game, I would say just making like dialing down our fundamentals and team play because it's like this NRG core like they paved the way for NA Valorant. I would say like they were the first like super team and one of the best teams before, and everyone just followed in their footsteps. So we knew that we have to play together as a team and make sure everyone's on the same page and just making sure our fundamentals don't slip. Because if they do, then that's the type of team that will just eat that up and take advantage of it. So just going into it, just making sure we're on the same page and stuff like that. Because we've never played Som on that team before, but everyone knows who he is, and he's very mechanical, gifted, and he's very smart at the game. So we just had to make sure we were better than them in the team play and like the mental.
You guys definitely did show that superiority, not just kind of covering the series. I mean, it was a pretty clean victory, clean match for you guys. What do you think was the
Yeah.
one thing that stood out for you guys that then helped you just take the series in such a resounding way?
One thing that stood out to us was definitely their Haven comp. We've never, came close to practicing against that. So once we saw on the loading screen, we just had a couple minutes to ourselves to talk about it and try to make like a little like adjust our game plan a bit um, to accommodate for what they have and what they can do. And I just told my guys, it's a weird comp and we've never faced it before, but if we just don't get too like anxious and don't um, get overwhelmed with whatever they're doing because we've never seen it before, and just focus on us and focus on our teamwork, that we'll be completely fine. But that was the one thing that stood out.
Yeah, talking about that composition, Ethan on a Euro, a familiar thing, but Victor on the Clove, definitely not familiar with that. And then
The
Finesse on the Deadlock. I mean, going a little bit deeper into that, despite having been surprised by looking at NRG's selection of that composition, then how you guys were able to just kind of breeze past that? Because you guys started off that first map 6-0 pretty clean, all that
Yeah.
stuff. How are you guys were able to just breeze past that?
Um, I would say my team especially has very like intelligent players, and we're always trying to pick up reads and figure out what their like game plan is, and I think we did a really good job at that. And I think they're not very confident or comfortable on that comp yet. I'm not sure how much time they've had on it, but just by seeing what I saw, like what we saw on the server, it definitely felt very sloppy for them. But I think with time, if they continue to work on that comp, especially, it can be something very scary.
Yeah, hopefully they're able to do that. And with a little bit of time, hopefully they're able to do that
Yeah.
quickly. You mentioned a little bit of just how it was like facing off against them, and back in like in the early days of that core
Yeah.
existence. How do you kind of compare that NRG like optic core to
Yeah.
nowadays? With their current state right now.
It's kind of hard to compare because the meta is very different. I think they capitalized off of chamber meta with Ye, and I mean that team back then was great, but I think Ye definitely was like like such an incredible one-of-one player who just mastered chamber, and obviously um, like for Ye to be such an impactful player, he has to have good teammates around him, good support system, and that's what the team is known for. Their chemistry is very high with all five of those players. So you just have to make sure that you don't like fall into their traps and just stuff like that, and just have to make sure that your team play is on point or you'll crumble.
Yeah, for sure. Now pivoting the attention towards back to this G2 squad. It's a
Yeah,
continuation of good form from Masters to now, winning your first two matches so far. First against Cloud9, now against NRG. Normally, when it comes to looking at teams coming off of international, they tend to struggle at first, and then
yeah,
that would then carry over to like the end of like a certain split. For you guys, you've been able to just keep that momentum going, continue to play well, continuing to not not stagnate.
yeah.
That said, just talking about that, how are you guys able to do that, amidst this transition from China to now, now being well in a much better position towards qualifying for playoffs?
Yeah, I think that was something we definitely talked about in China and Shanghai. Um, we're fully aware of after Shanghai that we're gonna have like 2 weeks, week and a half of practice going into this stage. So we took like 2 or 3 days off, and then after that it was just full grind. We've been practicing every single day, Saturday, Sunday, like Friday to Sunday, no days off really. I think yesterday was our only day off, but we did like 5 hours of just talking as a team and just going over our game plan and stuff like that. So um, we're definitely we looked at it, and we didn't want to continue the narrative of just coming back from an event and being slow and having like early losses. We wanted to break that streak and prove that it can be done, and prove that just because we only had 2 weeks that it shouldn't be an excuse but to play poorly. So we basically just put in the work and grinded it out, and everyone was committed. I think that's the most important thing. You can't have like a couple people being like, "Yo, I don't want to play on Saturday or Sunday. I need a few days off." Like, if you need to buy into it, if you want to win, and we're fully bought into it.
And it's definitely been showing so far in this stage too. You mentioned a little bit, or not really mentioned, but I want to mention also just sort of how how the people as in public has been kind of seeing this team's growth at the same time that you and I have kind of been looking at this team's progression. One thing that was kind of popped up at the end of yesterday's broadcast showed like how I believe Athena, Mimi, Ender, and I believe Golden Boy were giving their rankings, power rankings of the teams in
Yeah,
this league, and I'm not sure if you caught wind of that, but
yeah,
they
I
put
watched it.
they put G2 around fifth, sixth, and
Yeah,
that besides that, despite the fact that you guys have been going so well so far in this stage, so far in this season, and on top of that, just sort of when you saw that, what did that kind of tell you? Just how the public's perception is of the team, despite all of the good things that you guys have been doing so far.
Yeah. Honestly, when I was watching that, like, I will never understand why us as a team are so like looked down on, even though we continue to prove results. So after I saw like how low we were ranked, honestly, like I stopped caring about people's opinions, even though like I don't really care. But honestly, that was like the cherry on top. It's just like when I saw that, it just made zero sense to me. I mean, not to be disrespectful to Loud or EG, but they're placed higher than us, which EG has been shown good form, which is respectable. But to me, like some of these teams above us didn't really make sense, but they had their reasons, and I'm fine with being the underdogs. I think I said in an interview after my Cloud9 match, I said we can win champs, and after if there's like a off-season event, we'll still be the underdog. So I don't really care anymore. So
In your opinion, one more question: what would you put G2 in your power rankings?
I would put us probably around the lowest. I would say third, but I think we're tied close to second, top three for sure.
For sure, for sure. Definitely showing that form now. Finally,
Yeah,
getting into that position. A well-deserved string of performances for G2 and including yourself. And that said, I'm gonna wrap up the interview right here. JonahP, really appreciate you taking the time once again for another
of
interview,
course.
another conversation, and of course, best of luck. Go see you move forward.
Thank you for having me.